The College Baseball Experience College World Series Finals Preview and Picks episode on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. Yes, you can win up to 325 times your entry with their new Pick 8 sign up. And when you do, sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. Underdog Fantasy promo code TCESGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. Get the best data-driven props and picks from Rhythm. That's RITHMM. Claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm.
Hey, what's up, you degenerate gamblers? This is Bill Burr, and you're listening to SGPN. Let it ride, baby.
Experience World Series Finals previews and picks, all that good stuff. We are finally here. Saturday can't get here soon enough. Just it's this event's better every damn year. All right, and I don't want to curse. All right, I got some. And I got.
There were so many.
I got to give this guy credit. Yeah, I know.
There were so many comments against you cursing on the World Series preview.
Baseball, you know what I mean? It's
which school was it? I'm like, how do they hold themselves like holier than thou? Because it was like his school was in the name.
One of them was the University of North Carolina, which I found hilarious.
That might have been it.
But and we'll get to it. I'm excited to be here though, and I'm excited to talk. Excited to accept the negative comments coming in. Because I love that shit, to be honest. But anyway, if you're wondering who the hell you're listening to, my name is Colby Swing at Database Dan, a.k.a. Pick Dundee. That's not a pick. This is a pick.
He was raised in the land down under, where a man thinks on his feet, speaks with his fists, and lives by his wits.
When Dundee happened, he was a superstar.
I'm probably drinking too much and celebrating too much and not sleeping. Would have killed a normal man, but no, that's gone. The medical advice I got from that was like being hit by lightning. Pretend it never happened and get on with your life.
Woo! We are serving high heat over here. Give him the heater, Ricky. All right, let's go. I mean, take this MLB stuff out of here. All right, college baseball is so much better. All right, I was actually saying in the future, Noah, I think we just have to keep going to Omaha every year. All right, go to that classic steakhouse in Omaha, meet up with the great Derek Stevens. You know what I mean? We got to do that. I am joined by my co-host. He apparently runs a family operation here. It's a family show, Colby. But no, he's the man. He's the heartbeat behind the College Baseball Experience, and he's behind the scenes on the college football and college basketball experience as well. Give it up for Noah Bieniek. How you doing, pal?
Yeah, I would have had something prepped if we were going to go down that road, but yeah, I mean, I was surprised at the amount of comments that the same person dropped like 12 comments on your language. But I would just like to say, yes, we do have a pretty chalk finals, but I'll say this. It's two very passionate college sports fan bases, and we're going to get a first-time champion. I can't complain. So this is going to be a great weekend, Saturday, Sunday, possibly Monday. I can't wait. Texas A&M,
I'm hoping Monday. I'm hoping for Monday. You know,
how can we not?
Yes. And look, to that guy who left all those comments, hey, you know, I encourage you to leave more. And just know your God forgives, right? I think he talks about it a lot. But anyway, let's jump into it. Because I am just look. This thing gets better every year. I know maybe it's a little chalky. I don't think it's that. I mean, it's been chalky in years past too.
Yes,
right?
it has.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm not just gonna say that just because it's going chalk. It's like we've said this before with the NCAA tournament. Some years it goes chalk. What was it like 2 or 3 years ago? It went chalk, right?
Yeah, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago, San Diego State, Florida Atlantic. Last year, we had Alabama and
yeah.
Can't think of the other one.
Purdue and UConn.
Well, I was trying to avoid Purdue, UConn because that was the final.
Okay.
But it was Alabama and who'd who'd Purdue beat in the final?
NC State, the pussy pack.
NC State, yeah. And NC State was the dark horse, 11 seeds. So,
but I mean, look, you still had the magical run. NC State made and that's really what. Let's recap actually, because I mean, I got a lot of slander about my East Carolina Pirates, which I still will say. You won the same amount of games that we did in Omaha. So bye. So you just took a random trip to Nebraska. Look, I've been in Nebraska. We're not missing much. All right. It's okay. All right. And these Carolina fans, don't get me started on them. But Bieniek, what's some of your best memories from this tournament? Like when you look back, when we're doing the basketball show nightly on the College Basketball Experience in December, and you're just anticipating, waiting for college baseball to get going again. What will be some of the moments that you recall from this year?
I mean, those first 4 games were tremendous. I mean, you had a check swing basically to decide a game. Florida State could have beaten Tennessee in game 1. But,
where by the way, where are you at with that one?
Go live. I thought that he did not go. I thought he was able to check the swing. However, when you slow it down, of course you can get the replay perfectly. It was a swing, but that's always been a flaw in the game. The umpires, to be honest, I don't think the umpires have been that bad in Omaha. That's just a 50-50 coin flip call that the umpire got wrong. And it was against one of the best players for Tennessee, and it ended up costing Florida State the game, unfortunately. I'm going to remember that play. I'm going to remember Florida losing in game 1 via J. Laviolette robbing a home run in the bottom of the 9th inning, the top of the 9th inning. I'm going to remember, this crazy run from Kentucky and how, they won on a walk-off, and then putting me on the spot.
No. Let's talk about this though, because I'm with you. And look, I had Tennessee playing in the championship.
Which, by the way, you were the only one that got a team into the final. We all tried to be cute.
I had Florida, Tennessee. I couldn't believe Florida just laid that much of a clunker. I thought after they had, that
was a tough draw, having to play a doubleheader on the same day. You wake up at 10. The game was at 10 in the morning, so you wake up probably at 7:30 in the morning, and then you're ending that final game at 11 at night. So that's a tough day.
Yeah, that's true. That's fair. But I was pretty close, but I still got Tennessee there. And but I look, and I had Tennessee. I thought it was a horrible call for Saudi Arabia State, and I just thought. But it's Saudi Arabia State. So, yes, I understand they got hosed in college football this year. But it's Saudi Arabia State. They signed this deal with the ACC, and they're bitching and moaning about having to leave. Trying to come up with – it's like I have zero respect for you guys. I come on. You signed this agreement. Come on. I don't know. Am I crazy? Anyway, I thought that call was horrible though. To defend Florida State, Saudi Arabia State, would be that I really did think the call was bad.
Do you like the Saudi Arabian 12? That's been a new
that is
evolution.
There's rumors. There's rumors of this, and look, it's just going everywhere. I mean. Nothing like a sand sandwich, right? In Lubbock, right?
Which, by the way, everybody's slapping across like some of these different brand logos in front of the Big 12. the Bucky's 12, like that's great. Like we've always called the Big 12 the gas station conference.
Yeah.
Just throw a gas station brand in front of it, and it's perfect.
All these I love the people that think that their conference is not going to follow suit.
Oh,
You know what I mean? Like
if Big
you're
12
very
gets the
naive.
leg up, like if
Yeah.
Big 12 is able to get to the same level as Big 10 and SEC,
No.
the SEC and Big 10 are just gonna one up.
Hey, the ACC better be doing that right now, because I'll tell you this: you give Brett Yormark, what was it? It's rumored $1 billion. $1 billion. Say goodbye to the ACC if that happens. The ACC better be super fast.
The SEC said goodbye to the ACC pretty quick in the College World Series this year too.
I think Lou Holtz has something to say about that.
Well, I don't get. I got bring the head cold, but they're.
Well, here we are. Let's bring it home, because we could do an hour on. I could do several hours on.
Especially like we haven't like communicated much in the last week. We could talk about the last week's worth of news for.
I mean, there's a lot we could do, but we're gonna talk about the game. All right, we're gonna spare the people my stupid face. And youtube.com/the college experience, by the way. But look, folks, you're listening to the College Baseball Experience, part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. And look, the countdown to football season is on, and SGPN has got you covered. The College Football Experience, which I host, is doing individual team previews for every single college football team. Yes, all 134 teams. We're going to give Kennesaw State the same amount of attention that we're going to give Saudi Arabia State or Alabama or Tennessee. So, plus SGPN's 5-minute fantasy football podcast. You got to check out that. It's your quick and easy and dirty podcast, getting you prepped for all things fantasy. They're going to dig in the dirt and find out who's that backup running back for the Cleveland Browns. It's going to win you some cash. So check out both those feeds, the fantasy football podcast or gambling podcast, and the College Football Experience. All right, we are back on the College Baseball Experience, and I see the chat rolling along. Shout out to the chat. John Witherspoon reminds me of the comedian that rest in peace. But if my college career ended on a doubleheader, I would lose my mind. That's fair. I feel like it's a little fair.
I will say Cags hit the program record breaking home run in the doubleheader, so that kind of helps ease the pain a little bit. But yeah, that's a tough way to go pain. Out. I know. Exact same way that you finished the last episode.
Let me ask you this though. Like, to the lay person, you think the lay person that's getting into this is bored that it's Texas A&M and Tennessee, or you think it's good?
Oh hell no, I think it's great.
I think it's great too.
Yeah, I've said this the entire season long, the entire postseason. Get the best talent onto the biggest network, and it allows this game to grow. I mean, you've got Tennessee lost 1 series all season long. Texas A&M lost 3 series all season long. Like, both of these teams have proven to be able to win in 3-game sets. It's going to be outstanding between these two. I mean, we were getting cute, and plus I had a future on Texas A&M, so I'm trying to just get myself in a positive position and to make money, especially against a team that's not fully 100%. So that's the reasoning about a lot of the picks because somebody said we lost a shit ton of money fading them. I do have them to win the College World Series. I was on them back in like early March.
Do you remember my Tennessee? I think we both might have, but
we might have.
When we did the SEC preview, I was very high on the Vols. They were my pick.
Yeah, I stayed off of them. I thought I just had them as a regular season play, but you had them kind of going further than I did. I don't know if you had them.
I didn't have them win the Natty. I mean, well, I guess we didn't answer that on the SEC. I thought they were a team that could win the Natty, but I didn't buy that future. I just bought the future to win the SEC. But yeah.
We got it because the schedule was pretty easy, but it turned out that this team was very good. And it was a great call by us just in general. But yeah, like, these two teams have been tremendous all season long. I mean, top 5, they never really left it the entire year. I will say, like, so back at the beginning of this show, Hasty was talking about why in the world would you start John Abraham, who is a freshman, in that winter go home game against Tennessee. I was watching the post-game presser, and Link Jarrett, Florida State's head coach, said that Jamie Arnold wasn't ready to go. So unfortunately, they weren't able to use their ace in that game. But in the same kind of situation last year, LSU didn't start Skeens in that situation. They waited another day, just like Florida State tried to do with Arnold. Hindsight's 2020. It worked out for LSU last year. It just didn't quite work out for Florida State this year. For Texas A&M, this little run that they've been on has been great. They're doing it without their game 2 starter in Shane Sadeo. They're doing it without their first round draft pick, top 10 pick for this year in Braden Montgomery. Also, Hayden Schott is playing on a torn meniscus. Coach Schlossnagel said earlier this week. Jace Laviolette pulled his hamstring or did something to his hamstring this week. He played the final game on a limp leg. Their catcher Jackson Appel has been tremendous, but he's banged up. Schloss said after the win on Wednesday. So like Texas A&M has just kept persevering through all this adversity. Meanwhile, we're going to get to it, but I just think, Tennessee's stayed healthy throughout the course of this entire season. And they've paid their dues. This is their 3rd trip to Omaha in 4 years. They've built that experience. Vitello's been a little bit more mannered. He hasn't changed too much, but at least he kind of knows how to handle himself in this situation. He's not, blowing a gasket every other pitch. I just think Tennessee's paid their dues to get here too.
I mean, I love the Schlossnagel story because this is a guy I remember when he was at TCU, and they had some fire seasons at TCU back. And it wasn't TCU last year, but it was TCU a few years ago. He made a bunch of College World Series then. And I mean, multiple 40 and 50 win seasons at TCU. So it's been a fun watch.
A&M's got their money's worth. He's taken them to 2 Omaha appearances in 3 years. You can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm on I'm on Tennessee, but I mean, I'd be lying if I told you I kind of like Tennessee. We knew would be here. Like A&M they're more of the Cinderella. Would that be fair to say?
Oh, I don't know if Cinderella is the correct term.
They're not a Cinderella, but I'm saying like Tennessee. Like I had Tennessee as one of these.
We both had Tennessee winning the SEC. Yeah. Usually, your SEC winner is going to make a run in the NCAA tournament. Texas A&M, I remember saying at the beginning of the year, like if they're able to get some pitching, like this team's dangerous. We just didn't know whether they would, and if they did, we were like, this is a team that we're probably going to be very wrong on. I had the under 60.5 wins, and we were right. We were very wrong on Texas A&M.
Yeah,
here they are with a chance to win it all. But like I said, that was a quick assessment that we were wrong in the preseason. We hopped on, or at least I hopped on it on a show in March. I even went on VSiN and said it. So I think both Tennessee and Texas A&M have earned their place in this finals, and I can't wait because both of these fan bases are going to show up and show out. They're both leading the Jell-o shot challenge right now over there at Rocco's.
And by the way,
so
let's hold on. Let's lead in with that.
What's your biggest disappointment? Because there's 2.
I think it's the Pussy Pack.
Yeah,
I mean, by far the Pussy Pack, NC State, and they
it doesn't help that they played 2 games only. They went
but still they were there though. Like I saw their fans there. UVA fans sometimes
UVA's finished last in 3 of
well, also they're not all over the stadium. You know what I mean? Like in Omaha, I haven't seen just like the whole section. Maybe I'm correct. I mean, have you? Because I haven't seen just a gigantic amount of UVA fans. Where I saw a decent amount of NC State fans there.
I don't know. I would say maybe Virginia's fan base is a little spoiled. I mean, they've had 7 Omaha appearances in the last 15 years, but their program's only had 7 appearances. So it's like they've had so many in a short span. Brian O'Connor's kind of treating them like, spoiled rotten, and they haven't shown up lately in the last couple of seasons. But overall, I wouldn't say Virginia hasn't shown up. They're just not the drinking crowd, right?
Well, yeah, they're tiki, but I would have thought NC State would have been better than that.
Oh, me too.
Yeah,
I had them 2nd or 3rd in my
What's the I don't know that I've seen the latest one.
Oh, Kentucky's 6th, dude. Big Blue Nation didn't do anything either.
Well,
in Rocco's at least.
Well, I suspected this a little bit.
You did
because
you pointed it out.
if you're in Kentucky, which is a bourbon state, if you've gotten shit hammered in Kentucky, which I have, and they're kind of amazing. Like the people that like for drinking, they're not the type to me that I'll be honest. Like if you went to a few states, I would say, or a few universities, like even at ECU, I don't feel like Jell-o shots were a thing really. But when I went to like JMU, when I went to go visit friends at JMU, they would have that like in parties. I feel like that was a common thing, right?
Yeah.
So to me, like when I drink in Kentucky, it's just they're professional drinkers. I feel like they're just not the type to have Jell-o shots to me. So I thought maybe that could be. It's almost like I feel like maybe Texas would be like that too, or Oklahoma. You know what I mean? Like where I just feel like I don't think they would really do Jell-o shots. Like California, where I live right now, I feel like they would do Jell-o shots.
I mean, A&M's in, like they're in it.
Yeah.
You know, they're second place right now. So,
well, you see, Derek bought a bunch, right? Derek Stevens
he put him on Kentucky.
Yeah, he put him on Kentucky. Shout out to Derek Stevens, the great Derek Stevens. And make sure you check out Circa Casino in Las Vegas there.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, NC State though, pathetic performance, whether it was at the bar or whether it was at the baseball park. So look, folks, we're gonna get to this thing. I know the elephant in the room here. But I want to tell you that
we've got 3 games.
Yeah, the college baseball experience is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy. And they do offer college baseball, by the way. There's no
projections out there right now, but
there will be
some. Yeah, I will be putting out some.
There will be, and then they have other stuff. MLB, CFL. I know it's summer. We're in the dog days. NHL still. Pick 8 is now live. Create entries with up to 8 picks, and Underdog will automatically double flex entries so you can miss up to 2 picks and still win your entry with more picks to make and extra ways to win. The excitement is higher than ever. And the best part is you can win up to 325 times, the amount you originally enter. And you can now use specials and boost on all flexed entries. So don't miss your chance to try it out before it's gone. So sign up with the promo code TCESGPN to claim your special pick plus first time deposit offer up to $250 in bonus cash. And yes, if you're wondering, hey, college baseball is about to end. What's next? College. I use the hell out of this website with college football. So or the app, whatever. There's great angles for college football that really other places don't offer. UnderdogFantasy.com, promo code TCESGPN. All right. Let's get to it because Saturday, I think 7:30 your time, I think, Bieniek, 4:30.
I don't know the time off my top of my head. I think it is 7:30 my time.
Yeah, 4:30 my time. Texas A&M is plus 135 on the money line. That's all I'm seeing at DK.
So DK's got your best price for A&M at plus 135. For the legal books on shore, MGM minus 160 for Tennessee is your best price for game 1. For the series, DK, who set the odds and they were the first to market, this was set at minus 200 for Tennessee. It's now the minus 220. A&M's plus 180 over there. That's your best price that you'll find on the Aggies. FanDuel is minus 194 for Tennessee to win the series.
Well, to win the series, I like that. I mean, I'd be lying in a way though, because like I want Tennessee to win because I called them to be great, but I'll be honest, kind of love this. Like the Texas A&M team's been fun. The story's been fun. Yeah. So like my heart is kind of with A&M, but my wallet is with Tennessee. You know what I mean? So it's But I'll tell you this, I kind of like A&M's chances for game 1. Am I crazy?
No, I don't think you're crazy at all. And to be honest, you should like the price for both A&M game 1, and you should like the price on them to win the series. Shout out to Parker. Why is his last name blanking for me? Parker S. He posts the probable win percentages for all the teams in the College World Series. And he posted this. It was about 56% to Tennessee. If you were to punch that into a calculator, it would come out to like minus 155 for Tennessee, both in game 1 and to win the series. So there is your value in quotation marks on Texas A&M. You should see that value throughout the series. Tennessee's going to attract the public money. They are the number 1 overall team. This is the first time that we've had a number 1 overall seed in the finals since 2007. We haven't had a number 1 overall seed win since 1999. Texas A&M's valid competition for them to be able to knock them off. So I do think, like, just off the rip, if you wanted to just play value, go ahead and take the Aggies with the plus money. However, I will say, overall, I don't love where the Aggies sit health-wise. The big matchup to me in this is that Tennessee is going to hit the ball in the air. I mean, they try to just drive the ball into the gaps. Just happens to be a lot of them are for homers, but at the same point, they are going to lift the ball, and it's going to go in the outfield. Right now, Texas A&M has a right fielder who's playing on a bum hamstring. We saw him not catch a fly ball out in right field in that third game against Florida the other night. And it literally went right over his shoulder, a ball that he probably should have been able to catch at full health. And they have their second baseman playing center field right now, Travis Chestnut. So it's not a great situation when you have a guy not at 100% in right field and a guy that doesn't normally play the outfield in center field. Now, Chestnut, he is capable of playing the outfield. He just hasn't played it for most of the season. So that immediately is like, I don't love that situation when a lot of fly balls are going to be hit from this Volunteers offense throughout the 3 games. And it's a very vast outfield here in Charles Schwab Field. Game 1, you again, I'm going to go back to this. I'm just making cases for both sides here. Ryan Prager is probably going to be on the mound here in game 1. He is on 4 days rest. He pitched Monday. He's got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Yeah, 4 days rest here. He's 9-1 on the season. 288 ERA, 118 strikeouts, 20 walks, and 93.2 innings with the 281 Sierra. He is the best pitcher in this series, hands down. His trend lately has been good start, bad start, good start, bad start, good start. I mean, it doesn't really have much weight to it, but I mean, the trend that he's been going on right now, he might be due for a bad start here. And he doesn't possess that swing and miss stuff. Tennessee's going to put the ball in play against him. I think that's going to be trouble for this Texas A&M defense. So for what it's worth, I think the books probably have this one priced correctly just because of what's going on through the numbers with this A&M team. With that said, I mean, we saw Prager go. He took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. If he brings that same shit, because he needs to step it up for this team that, again, doesn't have their game 2 starter and has never really had the starting pitching depth the entire season, he knows that he needs to go deep in this one, just like he did against Kentucky in the Monday game. I think the right place, Texas A&M in game 1.
Yeah, I actually think if you're gonna play A&M, this is where you gotta like. I'm not even saying to win the thing. I'm saying like if you have a plan to say, hey, I want to take A&M, I think this is where you grab them because they're coming in hot. I mean, technically, I guess you could say both teams are coming in hot, but I'm saying after the way
A&M's 8-0 in the postseason in the NCAA tournament,
so
they don't have a blemish, unlike Tennessee with the one loss to Evansville.
Well, exactly, and A&M, they took down a red hot Florida team, and to me, I just feel like they're the dog. You catch them game 1, but the cream's still going to rise to the top. I think Tennessee's still going to win the series here. I think Tennessee's going to be the national champions. So it's like if you're going to take A&M, I think you take A&M now. I don't think you take A&M game 2. Am I crazy for that logic? Because I mean, I feel like it's kind of to me baseball and maybe I'm a little, I know you played college baseball. You know the sport way better than me. Make no mistake about that. But I feel like it's a streaky sport. Like just like if you can get hot at the right time. So I kind of like their chances to win game 1, but then Tennessee to focus and then Tennessee to wrap it up after that.
Yeah, I mean, your pathway to a game 1 victory here is we're assuming that Chris Stamos is going to open this game just like he has in game 1 for Tennessee for a lot of this season. And then AJ Causey is going to follow him up. Stamos is the over-the-top, funky left-handed pitcher. Causey is the sidewinder, right-handed. sidearm pitcher that they follow Stamos up with. In 7 straight appearances for Stamos, he's allowed at least 1 run. That didn't change against Florida State just a week ago. He threw 8 total pitches, and there was a guy in first and third, and Tony Vitello gave him a quick yank, and they still allowed a run that was credited onto Stamos' record here. Causey didn't have the greatest appearance there. That's your pathway to victories, just to try to keep this Tennessee offense down, Prager wise. Go deep, try not to use the bullpen too much, because A&M's bullpen, albeit it's great. I mean, dude, so Tennessee's bullpen is the 5th best in the country, 359 weekend bullpen ERA. A&M's is the 4th best in the country. Like, we have two truly elite teams here in the finals. I could see this thing going either way. It's all about who gets the clutch hits. And I just trust the Tennessee offense a little bit more. I have Tennessee winning game 1. We'll talk about game 2 in a second here. Throughout this finals, if it goes to game 3, I will have another show for game 3, but this is the show for game 1 and game 2. We're going to do both of them right here, right now. For game 3, I'll come back with a bullpen check, because that's going to matter, I think, quite a bit. I do think that Tennessee wins this one, and I think they're able to outslug A&M's offense here. For what it's worth, A&M's offense lately, at least in the Omaha, has been a very patient bunch, and they've gotten a lot of runs this weekend from walks and pitching mistakes. Tennessee's not going to make that. I mean, that's one of the best stabs in the country. You're going to have to go out there and earn it. I don't know if they can do it without Montgomery, who's been one of their best bats all season long. Laviolette's not 100%. Jackson Appel's not 100%. Hayden Schott's playing on the torn meniscus. The Texas A&M magic, I just think it runs out here. And game 1, I just think that Tennessee puts up enough runs to get a W there.
Well, I mean, and I'm curious what you think, but they played once this year, I think, right?
They played once, and they did face Prager, and he did not play. He did not pitch good. Thank you for reminding me. He went 2.1 innings.
Well, if memory serves me correct, Tennessee opened it up late, I thought, right? I watched this game, I thought, and Tennessee, it was like a close. It was like 2. I want to say it was like 2-2 or 3-2, and then in the 7th or the 8th, Tennessee had a big inning.
Yeah,
and
I will say that was predicated a lot on the offense. That was just how the game script went in the SEC tournament. A lot of the teams don't really, secretly they don't try to win it. They don't attempt to go deep into the week. A lot of times you're trying to save pitching. Tennessee ended up winning the SEC tournament, and they really didn't tax their arms too well. They did pretty good managing it. But at the same time, A&M pulled Prager after 51 pitches. I don't think Causey went deep into that game either. It was just kind of a bullpen game, and Johnny Holstaff, they didn't really tax too many arms. Tennessee was able to put up some on the A&M bullpen, which doesn't have as much depth as the Tennessee one does. You're not going to see some of that situation play out here. I think you're truly getting a leave it all out there type of game from Prager. He's going to go into the 90s, 100s if he's got.
But this is why I like them for game 1, because they're going to throw everything for game 1, and then I think they're depleted after that. So I mean, to me, their chances of winning are here. It's not in game 2 and then game 3. You know what I mean? I don't know. I'm curious your logic on the game 2 then.
That's the exact plan that LSU used last year. They used Tied Floyd in game 1, and they threw the kitchen sink from the pen in game 1 in the extra innings to make sure they got the win. Game 2, they completely punted. I think they lost by 19 runs. And then game 3, they blew it open on Florida, and the Gators offense wasn't able to do anything against LSU's kind of mix and match.
Before we talk game 2, though, I want to tell the people out there that the college baseball experience, and that's a good point you just made, by the way, but I want to tell the people that the college baseball experience is brought to you by Rhythm. If you're betting on player props, then you need to download Rhythm. Rhythm is the go-to sports betting tool that transforms complex data into actionable insights, empowering bettors with smarter, data-driven decisions. Unlike other platforms, Rhythm combines advanced predictive analytics with an intuitive user experience, making betting both easy and enjoyable. And Rhythm's predictive models were born from the brains of MIT data scientists and quants. You know, I know you think that's me. I look, you know, I might not be a data scientist, but I am a quant with over 3 years of data that help drive you to better AI backed betting decisions. So claim your free 7-day trial period today by going to sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. That's RITHMM. That's sportsgamblingpodcast.com/rhythm. All right, we are back on the college baseball experience. Me and Noah Bieniek, the heartbeat of the college baseball experience, are just throwing out there. Just to me, like, I think you get game one, you hope and pray for 2 and 3. You know, whatever can happen there. I'm going to take A&M game one for situationally, even though I think Tennessee's definitely going to win this thing. But I think you got to get game one if you're A&M. So I think that's going to be the logic. Talk to me about game 2.
Yeah, I'll just add this too. Like, I think you're the game script, at least that I'm predicting here. I think game 1, granted the total is not, 12 or 13. I think it goes over. I've been a sucker for the overs throughout the College World Series this year. I just don't think the pitching's up to par with the quality of lineups that we have in this game here. So I would lean over anything that's reasonable, like 12 or less. There
was 11 in the first matchup, I believe. So
I didn't see any yet. So
no. I'm saying when they played the first time, it was 7-4, I think. Yeah.
So yeah, for game 2, Drew Beam is going to be on the mound, we assume. I mean, this is all to be announced. He could start game 1, but the stats still translate here. He's the household name, even possibly more household than Ryan Prager has been, just because Beam's been around the block one more time around. He's a junior right-handed pitcher. He was on that stacked 2022 team. He was on the 2023 team that was in Omaha last year. He's 9-2 on the year, 4.30 ERA.
Trying to say Jesus Christ can't hit a curveball.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. 92 strikeouts, 25 walks, and 98.1 innings. This postseason, it's a 7.50 ERA. And over the last 2 months, if you were to just not even take into account his last 4 starts, if you go 2 months back, it hasn't been great. It's a 5.55 ERA over, like, I think the sample size is like 10 starts. So I think this is the game that Texas A&M is most live. I think if they're able to pounce on Beam in this one, this is possibly your Aggies bet. And I could totally see a pathway to a sweep for the Aggies if they were to somehow I mean, they've got Prager on the mound, we assume, in game 1. If you're able to put up some runs on Beam in game 1 and hold that lead, and speaking of holding, like Evan Ashenbeck, he won Stopper of the Year in the Texas A&M bullpen, 6-1 on the year, 10 saves, 1.54 ERA, 77 strikeouts in 70 innings with only 12 walks. And then they're going to, at some point, it's probably here in game 2. So game 2, they're probably going to start Brad Rudis. And I hit up my guy, Jake McKeever, over at College Baseball Central. He's covered the Texas A&M Aggies the entire season long. And I was like, hey, what's kind of the pitching situation here for the Aggies that we're probably going to see here in the finals? Could Prager possibly get one more day of rest and he actually starts game 2? Do we see a TBA for all 3? Do we see Justin Lamkin throw game 2, or does he go game 3, or is he possibly not good at all for this weekend on the rest that he's going to have allotted to him? The name that I got here, and it makes sense, he's started a few games recently, it's Brad Rudis. For game 2 for Texas A&M. Junior right-handed pitcher. On the season, he's 6-0, 2.29 ERA. He's been a relief pitcher for most of the season, but in his starts, he's started most of these games recently over the last month stretch. He's got a 6.82 ERA in the last month. So, it's just not a role that he's been used to over the course of the season. He's not going to give you tremendous length. That's where Chris Cortez is going to come in. He's more of your long reliever for Texas A&M, 10-3 with a 2.98 ERA in 60.1 innings with 95 strikeouts, only 32 walks. and he didn't throw a ton on Wednesday. He threw 8 pitches, got pulled. You know, A&M has a great chance to win game 2, in my opinion. That would be the game that I think I look for.
It's easy to see a tide turn.
The Aggies to win here. And it all kind of depends on this game in particular is going to probably decide the series, because Tony Vitello's got plenty of studs in the pen. He's just going to have to figure out when to kind of use them. He's got Nate Snead, Aaron Combs, Kirby Cannell, Nate Snead, Aaron Combs, Kirby Cannell, Andrew Banky, and Dylan Loy. All 5 of those dudes have been solid arms in the pen for most of the season. Depending on when he kind of uses these guys, if he uses them when trailing in game 2, probably not the smartest decision, but that's why I'm going to probably come back here on game 3 if we get a game 3 and preview that, because this Tennessee bullpen is probably going to decide the series when some of these arms throw. Because if they are losing in that A&M game and they exhaust 2 to 3 of them, just trying to keep A&M's offense, trying to hold them down so Tennessee's offense is able to climb back in the late innings, and it doesn't work, then A&M's in a good spot for game 3 too. But that same saying goes for, I know I'm going back and forth. I mean, both of these teams are legit and they've gotten here for a reason.
Well,
I don't get all season for them in the pen. It depends on when they kind of use them and what situations they use them. Like Colby said, baseball's kind of streaky. It's a luck game. It's about the clutch hit. And all you really need is kind of a run around base and a ball into a gap in Omaha, and you're scoring from first base. And that's the type of shit that's going to win you some games here. And my handicap is I think Texas A&M's lineup is more prone to come through and also run the bases better, play better defense, because we're also talking about a couple of limp guys on Texas A&M's offense that might not be able to run the bases at full 100% strength. So, yeah, that's my take on game 2 here. Also series as well. I'm rambling, but Colby, come in and save me here. What's your take on game 2?
Well, I told you I'm taking A&M game 1 because I think Tennessee's going to win game 2, and I think Tennessee's going to win game 3. But I can tell you this, it will be tempting to see the odds because I understand the logic there, and you make a lot of good points on A&M with game 2. If they win game 1, which I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to sprinkle. I actually, in the middle of your long,
you placed.
I placed my wager while you were talking, but you were making great points. But I just thought, hey,
I'm afraid I was rambling, but I hope
no, you're good, buddy.
Talk clearly.
Look, sometimes I've done shows with you where I have said one thing and I forgot to place the wager. So
yeah,
it's one of those things where you just got to remember. So I did place my wager, and I'm looking good for A&M game 1. And look, maybe it depends how I see them in game 1, and what we're looking at line wise game 2. Because I do think Tennessee's the better team. I think Tennessee's going to get this thing done. I think they're the national champs. But if A&M looks super hot, or if they win a close one, I actually hope they win a close one. That if you're building the case for me to take A&M game 2, I want them to win a close one, extra innings or something, and then I could see how A&M could win game 2. If A&M just blows them out to me, if A&M just has the right formula here, and it's I don't know, if it's 11-4, then I'm like, okay, Tennessee will be back. Tennessee's the better team in my opinion all year. So I still think the Vols are going to be the national champions, and but I would be lying to you if I said if there's a 11th inning, 10th inning A&M win, I might wager on A&M to win game 2. But I still have a heavy lean on Tennessee for game 2.
Yeah, I just hope that I'm not painting the picture that it's going to be Tennessee, like without a doubt, because that's definitely not the series. Like I said at the beginning, like if you're looking at it just the way that it's priced, it's probably not priced correctly. But just taking into the health into account, like with A&M, it's hard for me to really picture A&M winning this. And it's not like Tennessee's been there, done that. Like, this would be their first national championship. It would be a great thing for this sport, for these guys to finally get a national championship. They've probably been the best program over the last 3 years.
100%. And their fan base is fucking great. It's
last 4 years, honestly.
I mean, A&M's fan base is great too, but Tennessee's, I think, for baseball stands out to me a little more than Texas A&M's.
A&M's is still outstanding too.
No, of course. Have you been? I've been on the College Station. It's they're very passionate about their sports. It could be fucking ping pong, and they're gonna show up for it. So
I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna enjoy the hell out of this series. Really, I don't have a preference on either fan base winning this. I do have the future on A&M that I would love to cash, but Tennessee was a team that I was really high on, and I'd like to see them winning this one. The way I'm gonna play it is I'm going to have Tennessee straight in probably game 1, game 2, and we'll see about game 3. I'll be back here on the show in game 3 if this does go game 3.
And keep an eye on your videos. You've been doing these great underdog videos for Underdog Fantasy, where for the prop market, which is I highly recommend.
Yeah, I only put out one because I'm not the greatest morning guy, Colby, and we do know that those come out kind of in the morning. And that's the weakness. So I get my overnight lines. I don't get the morning lines. I will say
morning where here will be morning, or I don't know. It depends on where.
I'll wake up and it's like 10 Pacific. one.
Either way, keep an eye out for it because I tailed you on one hit, and it was a hit. So anyway,
yeah. So you're on A&M in game one.
Yes.
Okay.
I think it's the only time you should realistically be on A&M personally, unless like I said,
realistically, it's their best chance to win with their ace on the mound. That's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
I do think they match up to win game 2 well too.
But that's what I'm saying. It was that game script matters. Script really matters for game 1 to me. Because if they win 15-4, then I'm like, oh God, Tennessee is gonna Tennessee is gonna respond. Now, if it's something where to me it's like a gutty win, in extra innings, or even, it could go just regular, but to me, I'm paying attention to that because that's the only way I could potentially buy into A&M game 2, I think. But look, I very well could be wrong, but I just think because I do think Tennessee's the better team, and I think Tennessee will be in the national champs. I just feel like if you're gonna bet A&M at all, you should do game 1, in my opinion. So,
yeah. My X factor, I guess, for A&M is Caden Kent's been outstanding in Omaha. Like, he might land on the all College World Series team the way he's going. I think he's like 9 for 20 and 20 something at bats. I'm pulling that stat out of my ass, but he's been on an incredible heater here in the College World Series.
I'm dying in this fucking country ass fucked up town.
I'm sorry.
And for those that are living under the rock, they've been showing him pretty much every at bat. Son of Jeff Kent, but the kid's for real. Somehow he was on this A&M bench the entire season, but with the injuries, he's gotten the opportunity. He's made the most of it. He's kind of last year's Ty Evans for Florida, come out of nowhere, perform like hell, and he wasn't really a starter for much of the regular season. So for Tennessee, they've just got so many guys at the top of the order to kind of take the shine from anybody else to kind of be out of the realm X factor. Christian Moore is probably just the dude in this series, in my opinion. He's going to be the table setter at the top of the lineup for Tennessee, and that's how I kind of see this one going. I think Tennessee kind of rolls in this one. Is we're going to hear a lot of Rocky Top this weekend.
You know what this means, though, right?
What does it mean?
I have a theory on you can't.
Oh, so the football team?
You can't be good at all sports at once. I really buy into this theory. Like, I really, really buy into this theory. So you mean because I took Tennessee over on the College Football Experience podcast when we went game by game, broke down the roster.
Both of these football teams are supposed to be pretty good.
I'm high on both, dude.
Yeah.
I'm high on both this year. I'll tell you this: whoever
it just
wins
might
this,
mean the basketball team's going to be ass, which both
Something.
of them are going to be good.
something, man. I can tell you this: I buy into that theory, and maybe I'll have to because I have a trip to Las Vegas planned in a week.
Okay.
And I was gonna get, I mean, I know I could bet it here, but something about a paper ticket is a little different. But especially with the future for college football, but makes me a little paranoid about whoever wins this game or this series.
I'll mention this before we get out. I mean, shout out to the SEC. They've pumped money into this sport prior to a lot of people even realizing that it was going to be a revenue sport. College baseball is being ran by the SEC. They took the ACC out of town pretty quickly. They were eliminated all three of the first three teams that were eliminated were all ACC. This is going to be the 5th straight national champion from the SEC. All 5 have been different winners. So different programs have won the national championship during that span. And it's also going to be the 10th national championship in the last 14 years and 15th year out of 16 in a span of 16 years where an SEC team has been in the final. It's just been an absolutely dominant run. The other conferences have to catch up. I don't know what else to say. Like, I could try to root for the ACC. They had 4 teams in the College World Series this year with 4 SEC teams, and they didn't live up to the billing. So,
keyword highlight billing. But yes, I'm with you. I mean, right now, dude, I don't know if we want to ramble here, but I'm saying like, I was a guest at the University of Texas A&M for football. Right.
Yeah.
And, I got like shown the whole facilities, everything. Right. And it was awesome. It's absolutely fantastic. Their fan base is fantastic. But one of the things I got to talk about with some of their administration or some of the people that worked behind the scenes with them is what this looked like pre-SEC network. Obviously Texas A&M joined the SEC. They were one of the new additions. I guess I could still say that until July 1st. But
in a week and a half.
Yeah, they had them in Missouri are the new schools, but A&M. First off, the SEC network just in general, TV changed a lot, and the fact they were able to get A&M in Missouri, and then the fact that part of the deal was the SEC network would come in and you have a studio within your own university, and the way that money has changed in about 15 years. Now, the SEC wasn't making that money 20 years ago. It's just been super, super fast how much, the SEC and Big Ten and stuff have, and it's only going to continue the gap's going to continue to grow. But one of the things that I thought was fascinating was they were showing me just the like what Kyle Field looked like, what all the facilities, even the swimming facility, you know what I mean? Like all of it.
Bluebell Park's next. I mean, there's huge renovations planned there too.
They told me about that. But my point is that shit travels, man. Like even Missouri or whatever, like, the day and age of can TV money change your university? 1,000%. I've seen it with my own eyes. So, yeah, anyway, I don't know. That's my point is that A&M is, and the ACC doesn't have that is my point is like the ACC is kind of the dinosaur in the room right now. So
I love this from Tennessee Volunteers fan, Josh Carter, just obviously, just evident throughout the YouTube chat here, loves his Vols, but he goes, the ACC and the Big Ten have networks. They just fucking suck.
Well, I mean, yeah,
I'll say this about the Big Ten. It's just the climate isn't really,
talk to me in hockey about the fucking Tennessee, the Tennessee hockey team.
The climate's not persuading any of these athletic departments to spend in baseball. They'd rather just start up hockey programs and, jump into a conference that's already kind of running hockey. So not really running hockey. We don't have the national championships there, but we've got 4 of the 16 teams in the NCAA tournament each season. So that's where the money goes for the Big Ten from here.
But still,
on out, unfortunately.
Don't defend the Big Ten too much though, because they are public enemy number 1 to me. You know what I mean? They are public enemy number 1.
I still think it's Sankey.
No, Sankey added Oklahoma and Texas. Anyone would do that. The Big Ten just completely.
He had the first domino.
But you understand, Texas almost would join the Pac-12. They almost joined the Pac-12 like 15 years ago or 10 years ago.
Yeah,
it was very close. ESPN even reported it, by the way, if you remember correctly. ESPN reported Texas to the Pac-12 or the Pac-10 back then.
Oh, believe me, I know, because the Big 12 guys on their show were all, cheersing to the Pac-12's demise.
Yeah, I had problems with that, even though like I'm not a Pac-12 guy. I'm not a Pac-12. I mean, I know I live in Los Angeles, but I grew up on the East Coast. Not a Pac-12 guy by any means, but I still think like destroying 120-year-old conference and rivalries that just have been a part of the American fabric, I don't think is a good solution long term. I don't. And but the Big Ten made the biggest jump by grabbing all these other teams to me. Like the Big Ten is like the whole fucking country is the Big Ten. It's stupid to me. Like when I think USC Rutgers playing together, I don't care what sport it is. I think it's stupid. Stupid. Like at least Texas and Oklahoma like fit the SEC blueprint. Anyway, I don't want to. We could do 5 hours. I could really talk for 5 hours right now.
It's just interesting talk. I mean, we had honestly 2 games to talk about on this show. Like I said, here on the College Baseball Experience, if this series does go 3, I'll be back with bullpen reports and a game 3 handicap for this one. If it doesn't, we'll be back to recap the 2 games. Also, transfer portal until the end of the month for sure. Coaching carousel. I'll do an episode or 2 updating on that. And then we'll go into off-season mode, college football preseason mode.
Yeah, I'm already there, buddy.
I know
already
you
there. Yeah. Folks, give Noah B a follow on Twitter. I Noah B77 _ The man's doing the Lord's work. And you know what I love about Noah? He's very passionate about that. I am a growing college baseball fan. I didn't grow up watching college baseball. If anything, I stopped playing baseball when I was like in 7th grade or 8th grade. But I always enjoyed the sport. But I am much more of a lay fan. I saw people commenting, does this guy even know shit about baseball on the last episode? I'm like, sort of.
He tries to make that transparent on most episodes.
Yeah. Like I had a Bill Ripken fuck you or fuck face card in my bedroom. All right. But
and I've said it from the get-go too, dude. Yeah. Like I got into college baseball, like truthfully fell in love with it and started following it day in, day out in 2019 after the run with Bakich in Michigan. So that's when I truly started to follow college baseball. I always watched the College World Series each year, but ever since COVID, I've been head first in the sport. So
I watch it. I feel like last year I watched more than this year, and that's mainly because
you had a kid this year.
Yeah. I have a newborn.
I'll say it for you. So it's not overheard.
What's that? I think I got to go heat up some fucking milk right now. But you know what I mean is I still been watching the hell out of it. It's something that I think in the future, no, and I haven't had a chance to tell you this, but I think we should go to Omaha as many years as we can before we get off this rock. And,
that was the plan this year. We got approved the day of the tournament to start. Couldn't pull it off then. Thanks a lot, NCAA.
Well, it's like whether they let us or not. All right, let me tell you about the ECU way. I don't need a piece of paper telling me that I am worthy of their opinion. I'll fucking show up there like Derek Stevens, buying shots. Let's go. We're going to do this in the future. Folks, we appreciate you tuning into the College Baseball Experience. Give Noah a follow. And the guy loves the game. He's passionate about the game. And that's the key to anything in life, in my opinion. So, check out the College Baseball Experience, youtube.com/the college experience. Subscribe, tell a friend, hit that like button, all that good stuff. Also,
134 college football team previews.
Yes, I love college football. I have a game from 1989 on right now from Air Force. But anyway, you can't see my screen, but I love college football. I'm passionate about college football, and
They
that's
can
why
see your tablecloth.
Yeah. Oh.
Right?
Well, right. Can they see it from here? I don't think they can.
You've tilted the camera before,
but hold on. Let me
way.
see if I can. Let me see if it's just got every fucking football team on it. How about this? I got Hail State, and I'm not even a Mississippi State fan. It's just a Mike Leach gift. But anyway, check out the college football experience. 134 teams. We give the same amount of attention to Alabama that we do for Kennesaw State, who's the newest team in the FBS.
And
or
speaking
Nevada.
speaking about spreading attention to the likes of Kennesaw State, Mac's doing a great thing with the college basketball experience too. He's interviewing, I think 30 he's got scheduled for the college basketball offseason, talking to a bunch of mid-major coaches. He's doing an outstanding job.
Oh, and I got a lead for him on a new one. I got to play that on the show. Check out the college basketball experience. Check out the FCS college football experience. Oh, you don't think we cover the FCS? Fuck you. Also, the Stadium Heads podcast. If you do love college football, if I'm talking to Tennessee and Texas A&M fans right now, you're going to want to check out the Stadium Heads podcast. Myself and Michael Barker. You might have heard of him. Probably not as the name Michael Barker. Probably as the name College Football Campus Tour. He goes to like 90 live college football games around the United States every single year. FCS, FBS. We talk the history of college football, and we talk the history of their stadiums and why college football is the greatest thing to hit planet Earth. So if you're a fan of Kyle Field, learn something, hop on out there. If you're a fan of Neyland, which I think is, I've been to both stadiums. They're fantastic. Go check out the Stadium Heads podcast. Until next time, folks, check out the Sports Gambling Podcast. As always, we are part of the Sports Gambling Podcast Network. Ramble. Shut my face up. My name is Colby Swinging Database Dant. This is Noah Bieniek. We are the college baseball experience. You better start thinking about yours. Let's go. Cannot wait till Saturday. And we out of here.
Run and shoot. We can really run and shoot.